Hi again everyone, it's Mel from Stocksbridge Guitar Tech and we're here for lesson number 26, and today's lesson is going to be about suspended 2 and suspended 4 chords. So what are they? Well, let's zoom in and let's find out. So in our Western major scale we have 7 notes. So a major scale is comprised of 7 notes, starting from the root. Now the root is whatever key we're in. So if we're in the key of C, the root will be C. If we're in the key of D, the root will be D. If we're in F, the root will be F, and so on. So in a D major scale, the root is D. So the root would be there, D. So the 7 notes of the scale are and then we're back to the root again, an octave higher. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 notes, and then we're back to our root. You can think of this as the traditional do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So that's the D major scale, which comprises of 7 notes. So the major triad from that scale, triad is simply a 3-note chord. So when we play a D major here, that's a triad, because even though we're playing 4 notes, 4 strings, 1, 2, 3, 4, we're only actually playing 3 notes from the scale, because we're playing 2 of the D. We're playing the open D there, we're playing another D there on the 2nd string. So we're only using 3 notes. We're playing a D, an A and an F sharp. Now those are the 1, the 3 and the 5 intervals from that D major scale. So 1, that's the root, 1, D, 2, 3, that's the 3rd, which is an F sharp, then 4, 5, that's the 5, which is an A. So we've got a D, an F sharp and an A, making up that chord. So the 1, the 3 and the 5. That's true of any basic chord triad. So the C major would be made up of the same 1, 3 and 5 from the C major scale, which would be C, E and G. C, E and G. So that's a standard triad, 1, 3 and 5. So a suspended chord replaces that 3. So we're going to take that 3 out. We're going to keep the root and the 5. So we're going to keep, in this case, because we're in D major, we're going to keep the D, because that's the root, and we're going to keep the A, because that's the 5, but we're going to get rid of the 3rd, this F sharp, and we're going to replace that with either the 2nd note from the scale, which would be D, E. So E is the 2nd note of the D major scale, D, E, and then F sharp is the 3rd. We're going to replace that F sharp with an E, and that would give us this sound. So here's the F sharp on the high E string, 2nd fret. We want to change that for an E. So to do that, we just lift the middle finger off, and that's the chord that we get. And that is a suspended 2 chord, because we've replaced this 3rd of the scale, this F sharp, with the second of the scale, which is this E. So here's a D, here's an E, and here's an F sharp. You can hear there we've got the first three notes of the scale, Do, Re, Mi. And that would be the fifth, this A. So all we've done is replace that third, the F sharp, because in D we'd have D, E, F sharp. F sharp is the third. And then we'd have G and then A. A is the fifth. D, E, F sharp, G the fourth, A the fifth. Standard triad, root, third and fifth. Suspended 2 triad, root, second and fifth. So that's the suspended 2 chord, and again you can figure this out with other chords. So here we've got a C major chord. So in C major we've got C, D, E, F and G. So C, D, E, F and G. So E is the third, G is the fifth. So we would keep the C, the root, and the fifth, the G, but we want to get rid of the E to make it a suspended chord. So we would replace that E with a D, which is the second note, C, D. So again, that's very easy to do. We just lift this finger off, the middle finger again, which is here on this E, and we just play the open D. But we wouldn't play the high E either. So there's our C chord. So to make this a suspended 2, we'll lift the middle finger off. And now we've got that. Now we've got another D here, so we could add that on. And we could put the G on the top, because the G is the fifth. C, D, E, F, G. So we could play it. Like that. And these are called suspended chords because they want to resolve back to the main chord. So if you listen to that chord there, and then go back to the major chord, same with the D. So these are very nice chords to throw in just before we resolve back to the actual triad. So that's the suspended 2 chord. So the suspended 4 chord, we replaced the major third with the 4. So again, going back to our D major, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we would replace now this F sharp with the 4, which is this G. So again, here's our standard D major. So to make this a suspended 4, we want to replace the F sharp with a G, which is here on the 3rd fret, just 1 fret higher. So this again is very easy. We can leave our entire chord down. We can leave all those 3 fingers down. And then all we're going to do is put the pinky finger on the high E string 3rd fret to give us that G, and we get this. So that's a suspended 4 chord, and again you can hear how that wants to go somewhere. It wants to go back to that standard D triad. So we've got suspended 4, normal triad, suspended 2. And you will have heard these chords all over pop and rock music. And so on. So that's the suspended 2 and suspended 4 chord. So there's a couple more chords for you. You now know how to make a suspended 2 and a suspended 4 chord. All we're doing is replacing the 3rd note of the scale for either the 2nd note, which makes it a suspended 2, or the 4th note, which makes it a suspended 4. So in the next lesson, lesson 27, we're going to look in more detail at the major scale, because once you've learned the major scale, then you can start to work out how to build chords for yourself once you know the formulas. So we're going to look at the major scale in the next lesson. Thanks again for watching. As ever, please do subscribe and click the little bell, and I'll see you on the next one. That's all from me today, and thanks for watching. Bye for now.